afternoon and welcome to New England Nation Extra. Thank you for joining us. I'm Cole Johnson, and across the screen, my partner, Maria Trival-Peace. And Maria, how are we doing today? I mean, it's an exciting week. Players are reporting to camp in the NFL, and considering the circumstances we are in, it's almost like we've been living in a movie for four and a half months. It's almost like we haven't had football in ages.
Well, Cole, we haven't had football in ages. I'm doing very well this afternoon, so I'm super excited to get back to talking the X's and O's. We can even bring up some Cam Newton drama, so I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things surrounding Cam Newton. We'll get to him in a little bit. Some bigger issues and concerns, topics to talk about today, though. Most players across the league reporting to camp, but it's also the next chapter of how the season is going to play out. And yesterday, and in the matter of the last 48 hours, several players across the league have opted out to play the 2020 season. 6 of those have come from New England. And Maria, three-time Super Bowl champion Dante Hightower, he's headlining the list of players for New England that won't be on the field.
Dante Hightower, Cole, probably one of the highest profile players to decide to opt out, and it's going to be a huge hit to New England. Yesterday on Twitter, he said, "Pats Nation, you have supported me unconditionally over the last 8 years. I appreciate that support more than you know, and I appreciate that same support and understanding now more than ever. This wasn't an easy decision or one I made lightly, but I do feel it's the best decision for my family at this time. 2020 has been a challenging year for our world. I hope you can continue to be the light in these dark times. More light and great times are ahead. Thank you and stay safe." And yes, it was a very heartfelt message to Pats Nation, but I'm sure they're feeling some very dark times now that Dante Hightower will not be playing this season.
And for that entire organization, it's not only Hightower, but you're taking away a couple of huge starters for this. And of course, there are reasons for opting out. These are a few guys that have been on the Patriots in their system for years and years. They've put in everything. They've won some championships. They've had their due time. This is a time for them to really find that safety measures and do what's right for them and their family. And Maria, some of those guys, including Patrick Chung, veteran safety, starting offensive tackle Marcus Cannon, Brandon Bolden, who is going to be a reserve running back, their main kick returner, Danny Vitale, the fullback they just picked up from Green Bay, and then backup guard and center Najee Turan. How's this going to play out for this team?
Well, it's going to hurt a lot of different aspects of the team, Cole. And like you said, all opting out for various reasons. I mean, the coronavirus pandemic, it's scary, especially for someone like Dante Hightower. He just had a child. Same with Patrick Chung. He's expecting his second. So they have their reasons. Other people have health concern issues. And just the fact of the matter, if you watch Major League Baseball, how many guys are contracting the virus. I mean, these players are really worried about the same thing, but it's going to affect the team greatly. I mean, I think it does allow for a lot of openings for the rookies. I mean, depth is going to be a major concern on both the offensive and defensive side for the Patriots, and it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, huge hits on the defensive end, not for just Hightower and Patrick Chung, as you mentioned, guys that are going to have to fill those roles. This is a defense who was the top-ranked defense in the NFL in 2019. They're taking a huge step back now. There's going to be a lot of gaps to fill, a lot of holes to fill for this Bill Belichick squad. And Maria, who are some of the people you think that are going to have to fill those roles? They drafted some linebackers. They have a couple undrafted rookies, some free agents. Who's going to have to step into these roles?
Well, I'm really excited personally about the rookies. I mean, I think that Kyle Duggar coming out of Lenore Ryan, he was the Patriots' top pick in the draft. And yes, he's young. He doesn't have the experience, but he's going to have to lean on those veterans to kind of build his confidence and maybe fill that safety role that Patrick Chung is leaving behind. And then you also have the rookie linebackers who I'm like pretty excited about. I don't know. Josh Uche from Michigan had a phenomenal senior year, and it took him a while to kind of earn a spot in that Wolverine lineup, but he did that, and I could see him doing that as well for the Patriots this upcoming season.
Not only him, you have Anthony Jennings coming from Alabama, obviously under Nick Saban. Any guy coming out of Alabama is going to have some good production in the NFL you would hope for. A lot of mix-up on the defensive side of things for New England. This was a defense that was nothing but stellar in 2019, the top-ranked defense in the league. But now you look at the other side of the ball, some major parts over there as well, including their starting offensive tackle, Marcus Cannon.
Yeah, Cole, Marcus Cannon's going to be a huge loss for the Patriots. I mean, on an offensive line that should have been pretty strong for New England this year. David Andrews was coming back after missing last season, and the five across the line were supposed to be pretty good, but now Cannon's gone, and you don't really know who's going to fill that role. You have Corey Cunningham and Jermaine Illuminor, who are the veterans on that depth chart that was already lacking to begin with. Yadni Kajust and Jalte Froholt both missed their rookie seasons due to injury, and then the only other people who could possibly step in and play a certain position would be Dustin Woodard, Justin Herron, or Michael Owenu, who are all rookies. So you have very young guys on that offensive line. The loss of Marcus Cannon is a huge hit to New England's offensive line, and it'll be really interesting to see how they're going to fill those spots in this upcoming season.
Now, if we look at not only the depth chart, Maria, but what this does for the cap space and availability. Now there's 6 guaranteed salaries that will be added to the team's dead money. These contracts will be pushed back a year, meaning they don't have to pay these opted out players in 2020. That opens up a lot of cap space. After the signing of Cam Newton, they were running a tight ship. They were at about $200,000 in their cap space. Now, after these opt-outs, they're at about over $25 million in cap space. Do you see any potential chances for this team, Bill Belichick, to go out and maybe grab a free agent or two?
I mean, I see it as a possibility, and I almost see it as a necessity in some areas because, as we said, they lost so much in these veteran players who are opting out of the season. And yes, they have personnel, they had their draft picks, but they also just released a few guys who were undrafted, and now they don't have those. So you need the experience. One of the big things that we've talked about this entire time, Cole, is the experience that they need to kind of fill those roles. It's harder for a rookie to just step in and make an impact. So I can see them using that now free cap space to go out and get maybe one or two guys, even if they're just an average player, just to fill and be somewhat of a leader to these younger guys coming in who really might need the help even more so now.
Yeah, Maria, and Jadeveon Clowney, it's a long shot, but he's still out there. He's on the free agent market. There's been some talk about him possibly going under Bill Belichick's wing if he can join for maybe a minimum salary for this year. But with that being said, there's a lot being thrown at the New England organization this week. Everyone coming in, reporting to camp, and all of this is going on. What are maybe 3 of your top things to look at heading into this week?
Well, Cole, I think we have to start off with keeping it simple, and you have to keep an eye on the rookies because with all of these holes now opening up in the lineup, you have to pay attention to what the rookies can do, how much they have progressed since they even finished their college careers, and where they're going and how they fit into this New England squad. Second, I mean, we didn't talk about this too much today, but we've got to watch the quarterback battle. I mean, we thought that coming into the season, that was going to be the main storyline. We thought that the big thing was, will it be Cam Newton or Jarrett Stidham? Well, we don't know, but we want to watch and see what they can do right now. And then the third thing for me is also keep an eye on the injuries because I think that that's going to be another very big topic and relevant issue for the New England Patriots because they lack depth. They had some injuries coming into the season, and they need to be able to maintain healthy players to at least fill a roster. I mean, they're struggling right now to even have enough guys who are capable of playing different positions. So keeping an eye on all those injuries in this first week of camp will also be another thing for me that you have to watch.
Yeah, and for me, Maria, a lot the same as you. But for me, number one, this is a New England team and a New England culture that has been incredible in the last 2 decades. They're being faced with something that they're not used to. They're walking into a season for the first time in probably 2 decades where they're an underdog. They're a team that's not being looked at as a Super Bowl contender. Bill Belichick is masterful in snatching up players and filling the necessary holes they need to put on the field and be a winning team. But quite honestly, reality has hit them. And I think COVID-19, maybe he's just so large of a beast to overcome. A couple of their veterans are opting out of the season because of it. And even for Belichick, it's tough for him. And this really we'll see really what this New England culture is made up of for the next man up kind of mentality. As we've talked about, these guys are going to have to step up. This culture did not die with Tom Brady. I don't care what people think, whether this team's going to not win anymore. This culture is still in place. It's a culture that Bill Belichick has implemented and ran with. It's a tight ship. I think they'll still be okay. We'll see. But the Patriots have lost 8 out of 15 players who played the highest total number of snaps for them last season. That's a huge hole to fill, Maria. And that's something that all these rookie guys, undrafted guys, they're going to have to step up and fill these roles. It's going to be very difficult. But drafted linebackers, like you said, Josh Uche, Anthony Jennings, they made this step up more than they would have to. Jawan Bentley, a 2018 fifth-round pick from Purdue, he might be the guy to fill Dante Hightower's position. And like you said, Kyle Duggar, I agree with him as well, stepping in to fill Patrick Chung. But now you're asking, my third and final one is you're asking to rely heavily on these rookies in an abbreviated training camp with no preseason games. That makes this task much more to accomplish, Maria, with no preseason games and abbreviated training camp. It's going to be very difficult.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard enough coming into a new team, a new system, just learning the Patriot way. Now you have less time and less guidance to be able to fulfill those requirements that you're being asked of. It's going to be very interesting to watch and hopefully something fun to see as these rookies develop and as the team develops. As you said, Cole, this is somewhat of a new era, but it doesn't mean that the Patriot dynasty has to die with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and that's something I feel like everyone's talking about. What's Tom Brady going to do? What's his absence going to do here in New England? It is for sure a huge topic, but it's something I think you're going to see develop over the course of this season. But as far as this week's training camp, Maria, I think we'll figure some things out once these guys actually get on the field. As we know, the NFL protocols to battle COVID-19, it's tough. They're not even going to be in shoulder pads or in full pads for a couple of weeks now. It's going to be different to see, but I think it's going to be still fun. It's something we've never seen before. And just to wrap this up, Maria, we're going to hit our 2-minute drill. Here we go. Who is going to have the best face mask coming into training camp? Who's going to have that style and show everyone it's cool to wear a mask?
Oh my gosh. I mean, Cole, if I didn't answer Cam Newton, I don't know who else I would pick. He's definitely going to have the best style. It's going to be handmade from some interesting boutique somewhere around New England. I mean, there's going to be, maybe he'll be dabbing on it. I don't even know, but it's going to be awesome. And he's definitely going to have a different one every day. So I think we need to keep an eye on Cam Newton's face mask because, I mean, the rest of his style is A1, so we need to see what his face mask is going to do in New England.
I completely agree with you. He's a fancy guy, but I'd be crazy if I can't agree with you on everything. I'm going with an underdog. I got Devin McCourty, the veteran safety, the man. He's been a captain since his second year here in New England. He's going to show up. He's going to have this crazy mask and be like, guys, listen, this is cool. It's cool to wear a mask. We have to. We got to get out on the field. It's going to be cool. And then lastly, Maria, Madden ratings. Huge topic of conversation, especially when football got pushed back so long. These guys are so freaking worried about their Madden ratings and what's been seeing on the internet. What do you think?
Well, I think I like the Madden ratings. I like the Stephon Gilmore 99, and I loved the family aspect, revealing it with his family. I think it's so cute. I'm a sucker for those emotional things, so I'm just going with the basic answer. I think that Madden got it spot on with Stephon Gilmore, and I think he's going to be a saving grace for New England this year, especially with all the losses in their other areas on the field.
Are there any guys who did not get a good Madden rating that you should go up? Who should have got a better one?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm going to toss that one to you and let's hear your opinion because I know you got to disagree with me on stuff.
I don't want to answer, Maria, because I don't really care. I don't care about the Madden ratings. I really don't. I just
Who does
that's
care
what
about
happens on the field. Okay. It's not a video game. But
the video game?
thank you for joining us here on New England Nation Extra. Maria Tribal Peace, my partner in crime, and myself, Cole Johnson. We will be back later this week to discuss more here in this first week of training camp. Have a good one.